All right, let's dive into something that's been on my radar lately, the euro to US dollar pair and its recent wobbles. Now, I know Forex might sound like a snooze fest to some, but trust me, there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. So, let's break it down and see what's really happening. First off, what makes this really interesting is the way the euro has been reacting to a mix of economic data and geopolitical tensions. Personally, I think the market's response to the U.S. manufacturing PMI numbers is a perfect example of how quickly sentiment can shift. The PMI came in stronger than expected, and boom, the dollar jumps, causing the euro to US dollar to pull back. But here's the thing, it's not just about the numbers. What many people don't realize is that these PMI figures are a snapshot of the manufacturing sector's health, and they're closely watched by traders because they can hint at broader economic trends. If you take a step back and think about it, a strong manufacturing sector often means a robust economy, which can strengthen the dollar. But is that the whole story? I don't think so. One thing that immediately stands out is the Federal Reserve's recent decision to keep interest rates unchanged. Now, this might seem like old news, but what this really suggests is that the Fed is in a bit of a holding pattern, waiting to see how the economy evolves. In my opinion, this uncertainty is a big part of why the euro to US dollar pair is wavering. Traders are trying to figure out what the Fed's next move will be, and that's creating a lot of back and forth in the market. A detail I find fascinating is the report that the US sold euros to rescue the Japanese yen. This raises a deeper question. How much of the euro's movement is being influenced by these kinds of interventions? It's not something we talk about enough, but it could be a significant factor. Now, let's talk technicals for a second. The euro to US dollar pair has been forming a double bottom pattern, which is a bullish signal. From my perspective, this pattern is crucial because it suggests that the pair could be gearing up for a rebound. But here's where it gets tricky. The neckline of this pattern is at 1.1483, and if the pair breaks above that, it could head towards 1.1620. However, what makes this really interesting is the MCD indicator, which is showing upward momentum. This implies that the bulls might have the upper hand in the short term. But, and this is a big but, the market is also keeping an eye on the upcoming U.S. non-farm payrolls data. If the numbers come in stronger than expected, it could give the dollar another boost, potentially derailing the euro's recovery. What this really suggests is that we're in a bit of a tug-of-war between economic data and technical signals. What many people don't realize is how much geopolitical tensions can influence currency pairs. Right now, the situation in the Middle East is something traders are watching closely. If tensions escalate, it could create a flight to safety, which might benefit the dollar. But if things calm down, we could see risk-on sentiment return, which might help the euro. Personally, I think this is one of those under-the-radar factors that could surprise a lot of people. It's not just about the numbers. It's about the broader environment and how traders are feeling. So where does this leave us? In my opinion, the euro to US dollar pair is at a bit of a crossroads. On one hand, you've got technical signals pointing to a potential rebound, but on the other, you've got strong US economic data and geopolitical uncertainties that could keep the euro in check. If you take a step back and think about it, this is a classic example of how Forex trading is as much about interpreting the story behind the numbers as it is about the numbers themselves. What this really suggests is that we're in for some interesting moves in the coming days, especially with the NFP data on the horizon. As I wrap this up, I'm left with a thought. How much of the Euro/USD's movement is driven by fundamentals versus sentiment? It's a question I don't have a clear answer to, but it's something I'll be thinking about as I watch the charts. What do you think? Is the euro set for a rebound, or will the dollar continue to dominate? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if you found this analysis helpful. Until next time, happy trading!